Hi Sagittarius, I'm here to do your September monthly tarot reading. Okay, so at the bottom of the deck we have the Ten of Pentacles. And this is a beautiful card about legacy and family and home and how we create a home, how we create a lasting impression from our time here on earth, and how we pass those values and wisdom that we've gained throughout our lives onto other generations and instill that spirit of family and connectedness and taking care of one another down through the generations. So it's a really lovely card, and having it at the bottom of the deck this month means that that is sort of an underlying theme. So we're really thinking about how we conduct ourselves in this world. It could be we have, I'm sorry, elderly parents, our children, that are on our minds. And I mean, I live next door to my parents, and they're in their early to mid 70s, and they're extreme. My mom runs every morning. I mean, they're doing extremely well, but you know, in the next 10 years or so, they may need more and more help. And I do feel that it's an honor for me to be able to be here for my parents in that way. So, and I want to instill that in my son, that it's an honor to be able to, as long as it's possible, to help my parents out. It's that type of family that's important to me. Now it's going to be different for everyone, but those are the types of the depth of that card. It's a very deep card for a minor card. How do you conduct yourself in this world? What legacy do you want to lead? Are you living up to that legacy? And if not, what can we do to change that? And, what kind of values and impressions are we leaving to the next generation? What ones have we inherited from the past generation? Do they work for us or not? Do we want to change some legacies that have been handed down? That's one too. If you grew up in a house with, a lot of negativity and things like that, it's, maybe it's like, now, wait a minute, I that's one legacy I don't want to continue. And what can I do to make sure that that doesn't happen? So we start off with the Fool card. And this row is amazing. We have the Fool, the Star, and the Magician. It's just like crazy, powerful, beautiful cards. So when I do these diamond spreads, I really kind of like them. They sort of, you can kind of read them in several different ways. So I like this line down the middle. And then I sort of see two different scenarios on either side. I'm going to read the Star card, which is the middle card. So you can think of this as the focus card. And the Star, healing, hope, dreams, what we aspire to, what we want most, what are our priorities, what do we need to do to heal ourselves or others, and to really live authentically and sort of nourish our soul. It's sort of an otherworldly card. It's lofty goals, but it doesn't mean unattainable goals. And I feel like they're more internal than tangible, in the sense that, yes, there are tangible things we can do to meet our goals, but figuring out what's going to make us happy. I mean, that's often, happiness is a state of mind. It's a good habit that we cultivate. And taking risks on ourselves and our happiness. It's a mindset that you have to get into to not let fear hold you back. So that ties really well into this Fool card. It's taking a leap of faith, stepping out into the unknown, stepping out in it's interesting. It's almost like a portal here. It's like stepping into a completely new dimension, a completely new way of life, and taking a risk on ourselves, taking that leap of faith. Now, I don't believe personally the Fool is a fool. I think the Fool knows that sometimes you just have to go for it. You can't know. I mean, it's kind of like relationships, moving, new jobs. Until you do it, I mean, sure, you can do research and try to get to know someone, try to get to ask good questions at an interview. If it's for a job, you can visit a place you're going to think of moving to, but until you're really in that relationship for a good amount of time, till that honeymoon period of whatever it is wears off, and the excitement's worn off, and then you're stuck with sort of the reality of the situation, do you really know if it's a good fit or not? And you just have to live your life and take the journey, and that's the only way you're going to know. So over here, there are some of us that this is being prompted by some boredom, some unhappiness, some blah. It's just like, what are we doing? Nothing's horrible, but nothing's great. And, I think we're getting up and going to our jobs, and we have a decent paycheck, but it's not anything that's like fulfilling our soul or something we're excited about. And it's almost like a card of going through the motions, maybe a little bit numb, and just flat, not, there's something missing. And we may not even know exactly what it is, but we know that we need to make some changes. And trying to figure out, what is going to make us happy is a bit of a process. And that's what this card is about. We can dream and do research and everything to try to narrow down, okay, where am I happy? Where am I not happy? What changes could I potentially make to bring in more joy? But sometimes we have to actually just live and try things, be the Fool. I'm going to get a new job. I'm going to go travel to this city. What if I did move? Is that going to bring some passion back? What if I went to art school? I've always wanted to be an artist. What if I became a yoga instructor? I think I use that all the time. What if I open up my own business? You know what I mean? Like, dare to dream. And we have the Ten of Cups, which is my happily ever after card. So it's a card about what is your happily ever after, and it matches beautifully kind of with that Ten of Pentacles. What is important to you? What are your priorities? What is going to bring you fulfillment? Is it money? I don't know. There are an awful lot of very successful movie stars who have fame and fortune that are extremely unhappy. And it's a little bit of, I actually read this card as a little bit of a caution. Nothing's perfect. Nothing's, the grass is always greener type energy. We're in a little bit of a dilemma on this side of the spread. We're not really happy, but are we being realistic about what is going to make us happy? And so for some of us this month, it's going to be the process of of thinking about that, of feeling things out, of trying to figure things out. And on the other side here, we have the World card. So for this could, also be in conjunction with the other side, or this could be sort of a different story for some people. And that's something has come to a culmination. It's a beginning and an end, this card. So it's usually you finished a project, you've completed school, something like that. And once we'll use the example, once you've graduated from school, then it's time to figure out, to find a job, find a career, or you decide to move in with your significant other, or you decide to get married, or something like that. So it's a culmination that you then need to make a decision about where to go next. And it's giving you the opportunity to really figure out what you're aspiring to, and taking a leap of faith, potentially, to go after what it is you want. Now on this side, we have the Knight of Cups. So we do have a change in emotions and how we're feeling, which is what was needed on this other side of the spread. We weren't feeling so great. We're kind of going through a process of trying to figure out what our happily ever after looks like. If we're alone, if it's with a family, if we have a career, what's most important to us. And so we get that change. For some of us, this will be the arrival of a new relationship. But I really feel like it's an internal process within us that's shifting, of really saying, I am going to be happy. I am not going to live in the Four of Cups. I'm not going to just be here. I'm not going to just be going through the motions. It has to mean more. I want it to mean more. I want to feel fulfilled in my life, and really trying to figure out how to make that happen. And we're starting to figure some things out, because here we have this shift, this change. And then we have this beautiful Ace of Pentacles, one of the most beautiful cards in the deck. Again, we have some of the most spectacular cards out that you can get. And this is practical change. So really taking some practical steps to start feeling happy and living more authentically. And the bottom card, the last card, is the Magician. Knowing we can manifest. We have all the tools we need to manifest whatever it is that we want. So a new beginning here. This is a new house, a new job, new spiritual outlook, a new health and fitness routine, an offering. So there is, and it's interesting because the Knight of Cups can be an offer. So there is some sort of change, and but it's almost like internally saying, what, I can do this. I can welcome this new way of approaching things into my life. And it's when that shift takes place that all of a sudden the universe steps in, and something is offered. And we have a Magician here. So really anything is possible. We have the ability to manifest, and once we get that in our heads, then it's possible. Things start happening and manifesting, and we can feel and even see potentially the changes happening in our lives. So we're coming into September really saying, I'm living differently. I'm taking some risks. I'm going to honor my true aspirations. I'm not going to settle anymore. And by doing that, you learn that you can you do have the ability to manifest the life you want. Really spectacular reading. So I'm going to leave it there, and thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you at the next video. Thank you. Take care.